First, if you'd like to ask a question, over on the right-hand side on the GoToWebinar control panel, please ask any questions. We will certainly get back to you via email after the webinar. And also, I'd like to thank Maggie Hammett, our lead technology underwriter here at Stuckey, for joining us today and presenting today for our agents to learn more about our Safety Tech insurance program. All right, so about us. Stuckey & Company is an MGA, and we provide our insurance agents and brokers with innovative insurance programs, along with excellent service they need to ensure long-term growth and success. As of today, Stuckey & Company has 9 specialty insurance programs for our agents, and this year Stuckey has completed 26 successful years in business and started our 27th year this year in 2018. While we serve over 200,000 customers and providing excellent unmatched service from our 151 promise. And what is this promise? If you send a completed submission, a change request, or any other inquiry by 1 p.m. Central Time, we will do our best to have a completed response back to you by 5 p.m. Central Time that same day. And if submitted after 5 p.m., we will do our best to have it back to you by 1 p.m. the following day. What we do, Stuckey & Company creates niche specialty insurance programs for our agents, and we do everything else from creating the programs to underwriting. We do rating, we do quoting, binding, and also issuing policies. We do endorsing and change requests, the renewal process, invoicing and billing, any reporting, system integrations, claims, marketing, and also trainings, such as this webinar today. Here is the list of 8 of our specialty insurance programs we offer to our agents. We have our Safety Tech Technology E&O insurance program, which we'll discuss today. Then we have our Aspire A&E for architects and engineers. Arbor Guard, Stuckey & Company's first started program, which started 27 years ago and handles marinas and boat dealers. Then we have our Miscellaneous Professional Liability, our MPL, which consists of over 350 classes in MPL. In Element, our green energy industry. We have our personal lines, of course, which includes home, auto, boat, high-value home, and others, of course. Then we have our commercial lines, which includes BOPs, work comp, commercial auto, bonds, etc. And then lastly, we have our surplus lines markets, if anything falls outside of our guidelines. All right, so now I'd like to turn this over to Maggie, and she would like to go into further detail about our Technology E&O insurance program. Maggie?
Thank you, Tyler. Before we get started, I want to share some exciting new things Stuckey & Company have launched and we're working on. CoverCore, recently launched, is a new communication platform between registered and appointed agents and their customers. And that's something Tyler's heading up and has done a great job, and we've actually already held a webinar. So if you need copies of the previous webinar, just let us know, contact Tyler or myself, and we'll make sure you get a copy of that so you can listen to the exciting news as well. For the Safety Tech program, we have been approved for higher cyber liability limits in the tech department, and we're also working on building some skinny bop into the Safety Tech policy. As of right now, the cyber limits have been approved in the states, and we're just building that into our rating system internally. The tech team is working on that. So we will continue to keep you updated when that is launched and also when the skinny bop becomes available. So today, we're just going to discuss some Foundations of Tech E&O. First of all, let me give you some background information on Stuckey & Company. Stuckey & Company has been in the business well over 20 years, like Tyler said. However, specifically to the technology professionals, we've been doing this for 20 years. My background as a tech professional is specifically with the liability, the professional liability portion. And I have been with Stuckey & Company for almost 18 years now. And I've been in the tech division for the full 18 years, and that's where most of my experience lies. However, we do have other underwriters who are experienced in all aspects of professional risks, not just the technology side. We realize some firms may also offer more than just simply technology services. We have a great understanding of contracts that are obtained by technology professionals and the language that's entailed on the contracts. And in-house authority, our particular safety tech program, we do have the authority up to $25 million in revenue and up to $5 million in limits. So lately, Tyler and I have been speaking with agents who either want to incorporate professional liability with their personal lines business that maybe they currently write, or we have actually had great conversations with some beginning insurance agents that are just starting off in the industry, and they are specifically looking for the safety tech professional liability coverage because it's such a great product. So today, I'm just going to discuss some basic technology terms and kind of a few coverage definitions. Some of you may be familiar with our form. Some of you I can see are new, and we're excited to start a business relationship with you. So let's go ahead and talk about the webinar today. What is technology E&O? Professional liability protects the insured against claims as a result of their error or an omission in performing their professional services. Also, E&O and professional liability are terms that are interchangeable. So some of the contract wording that you may be looking at can say professional liability, or it may say errors and omissions. And just to give you a brief definition, an error would be a mistake or inaccuracy, miscalculation, or an omission where it's left out or excluded. So let's review some key definitions of technology E&O coverage. I'm going to point out the definitions and the differences between reporting form coverages, the insuring agreements that are in our policy form, some key dates that you need to know. We're going to define who is an insured in the safety tech form, and also the importance between deductible versus retention. First thing I'm going to cover is the reporting form coverage. You may have heard of these terms, however, maybe not know in detail what the actual reporting time frame is or what they mean. So a claims made is a claim must be made during the policy period. And then our form is specifically claims made and reported. So the claim is made against the insured and reported to the insurer while the policy is in force and occurs on or after the retroactive date, which is a key date that we will cover in the upcoming slides. Occurrence form covers any incident that occurs during the policy period, regardless of when the actual claim is filed, and a lot of times the BOPs are actually written on occurrence form. So specific to the safety tech form, let's discuss some insuring agreements. The insuring agreement will summarize the major promises of the insurance company, as well as state what they're going to cover. The first definition here is the technology E&O and the insuring agreement provision of insured technology service and products. Our form does include personal injury. The next insuring agreement is electronic media activities, electronic content on the internet on behalf of the insured or even by the insured for others. And this policy language will include the copyright, domain name, trademark. The next popular one is the network operations security, which in turn is also kind of interchangeable with the cyber liability. This gives the first party coverage, and this is failure to prevent unauthorized access or unauthorized use of the insured's computer system, including denial of service attack, hacker attack, breach of privacy. Please keep in mind the network operations security, again, is for the first party, as well as our new definition included in the insuring agreement is the data breach notification expense. And again, this is first party, so this is for the insured. This would be expenses the insured becomes legally obligated to pay, including retaining third-party computer forensics, of course, the notification expenses, and privacy regulations that need to be followed. This slide covers the key dates to know. Of course, simple terms, the effective date, date insurance coverage goes into effect, the expiration date, which the date insurance coverage ends, and then the retroactive date specifies how far back in time the insurance coverage applies, which is very important when you're talking with your customers. You'd like to make sure that they have continuous coverage. On the E&O form, if they do let it lapse, and let's just say they let it lapse today, but they did work 2 years ago, and a glitch comes about on work they performed 2 years ago, if they don't have continuous coverage, that is not going to be picked up on a claims-made policy form. And then last listed here is the extended reporting period, which provides additional time to report claims. This does not give them coverage. This extended reporting period option is usually a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, and it just allows them to report any claims during those years. The next slide is who is an insured, a person or an organization covered by insurance. The Safety Tech form specifically includes the following in the policy language: subsidiary, as long as it's listed on the new business application when it's submitted for coverage. We also include any partner, principal, officer, director, employee, whether it be part-time, seasonal, etc. And independent contractors are covered on our policy form under the definition of insured. Those are some key points too to keep in mind when you're comparing coverages. Let's go over the next thing, which is the deductible versus retention, which is very important to insureds when you're discussing deductible and retention. The deductible is the insurer pays for losses and then collects reimbursement from the insured afterwards, up to the amount of the deductible. So in other words, the deductible is a great thing to have so that the carrier and your defense will begin immediately. They're not waiting to collect money from the customer prior to defending their claim. So our particular Safety Tech form does include deductible. The next listed here is retention, where the insured is required to make payment first. The insurer only will begin to make payments, to begin to defend once payments have been made by the customer or satisfied by the customer. First dollar defense, this is where the deductible shall not apply to the defense cost. And $0 deductible, once a claim is presented, the insured has no out-of-pocket cost for the deductible, whether for claims, expenses, or indemnity costs. These particular two definitions, the first dollar defense and the $0 deductible, can also be found in our policy language under the Safety Tech expansion form, but they can be added individually if needed. And this is just to kind of go over some of our technology E&O target classes. I wanted to give you an idea of what we write, kind of what we're looking for. We do include this on our website if you'd like to look at additional targeted classes. The computer network design or computer consulting, a lot of our customers are worried about the securing network, which includes data. This is in our main Tech E&O form and can be found under the definitions of computer network design or computer consulting, and I believe our form includes the terminology security, so that specifically if they're hired to secure a network, that is something that's picked up on the E&O form. Internet sites, web development, internet service companies, application service providers would be considered an internet service company, and then technology training and education, internet retailers, telecommunication, enterprises, and again, we have many, many more classes. They can be found on our website, or we can include a brochure to provide you so that you have something handy whenever you're talking to your customers. So the next slide, I'd like to discuss some exposure concerns. As an underwriter, I'm always looking for the exposure concerns, and you can help me understand what your customer does and what they need by asking some of the following questions. One main thing is, of course, what services are they offering? We need to know who their end client is. Do they have any contractual obligation? And of course, what limits to be considered. When you're reviewing limits, sometimes it would be based on their revenue, could be considerable as far as if they're making $500,000 to $1 million in revenue, you probably want to offer $1 million limit. Or if they have a contract that requires them to carry $2 million, $3 million, or $5 million, we can most certainly take a look at that based on contractual obligations. This screen we provide you because we want to help you get the conversation started. And this also plays a part in becoming a resource to your customer. Tyler has created some webinars that he's been presenting as well, where we are teaching our agents to use CoverCore and to become a resource to your customers. We want to make sure that you feel comfortable discussing things with your customer and that we have all of our bases covered when you're discussing all these with your customers. So be sure to follow Tyler and I as he's coming up webinars. I believe next week he can give you more information about that. And if you need copies, of course, of the previous webinars that we've held on the CoverCore, please feel free to contact us on that as well. Those are just some basic information that I provided you, basic definitions to help you start understanding the Safety Tech form. I've left my contact information on here. I think a lot of you are familiar faces to me and names, so I know you have Tyler's contact information as well. So I'm going to be doing a series of webinars, kind of goes hand in hand with the becoming a resource to your clients. So with this webinar, this was just basic definitions, basic technology terms, and what our agreements are in the Safety Tech form. Upcoming webinars, I'll dive deeper into each insuring agreement and the sections and what they cover. And again, I've got a webinar coming up, and this might be in a couple months, but it's specifically the cyber. I know cyber terminology is thrown around a lot. You want to make sure you're considering if it's actually a first-party cyber coverage or third-party cyber coverage, which would be the client's data that they are hired to secure. So we want to make sure that you're understanding all aspects of not just the professional liability, but also cyber liability. So I'm going to wrap it up. Doesn't look like we have any questions. Maybe I covered everything pretty well. So that's good. If you think of any questions, you'd like to email myself or Tyler, we'd be happy to talk with you. We'd be happy to do some one-on-one tutorials as well. We've been doing training in-house and these webinars, trying to get a lot of our agents on the same page and make sure you're offering the most for your clients and customers. So feel free to send me an email. Later today, I will upload this recording, and I'll go ahead and send out any answers if somebody comes up with a question, and we'll follow up via email after the webinar later today. So Tyler, I thank you very much for attending the webinar with me and presenting.
Thank you. Thank you, Maggie. Appreciate it very much.
Fantastic. Well, you guys have a great day, and thank you for joining us. And again, feel free to contact us with any questions. We love working with our agents. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good day.